Hi everyone, my name is Khushi, and I am a good procrastinator. When I heard today's theme, ripples, it all starts with a drop. My mind instantly went to the addictive habit of procrastination. An endless rabbit hole of distraction after distraction, delay after delay, temptation after temptation. Growing up, now more than ever, procrastination has become a key part of my student life. It has taken over countless work hours, sleep hours, and overall just drained my energy. And it is getting worse and worse. Just the other day, I had a test and an assignment due. So like any good student, I started reviewing. A day before. In this scenario, a normal student would balance their time out something like this. More work, a little bit of relaxed time, stress levels stay low, and everything stays calm. But this is what happens to me. Now don't get me wrong, I had perfectly good reasons why I make such choices. You see, I came back from school, it was around 5 o'clock, and I was hungry, so I decided, should I be healthy or unhealthy? After convincing myself I had a bad day, I made myself some nachos. Now it's 5:50. Yes, I did take half an hour to decide what I wanted to eat. But anyways, dinner is at 6:30. I decided, you know what, I might as well just start after because I wouldn't want to break my workflow. Hence, I decided to wait. Now, fast forward after dinner, I started doing my work, but then the time just didn't seem right. It was 6:52. 6:55 would be an ideal time to start working. So I decided to wait again. And then at 6:56, 7 o'clock is just 4 minutes away. I might as well just start at a whole round number. So I decided to wait again. This time, stress levels increasing significantly. Now it becomes 7 o'clock, but then I realized, if I sleep at 11, I still have 4 hours to do my work, and it's really not going to take me that long. I might as well just get rid of all of the distractions first. That way, I won't procrastinate any longer. So I watched a Netflix episode, and then I watched another one, and of course I had to watch a third one. This time I skipped a couple of parts to go faster. And now that all of the distractions are away, I should take a shower. I need to be clean before doing my work, so I decided to wait again. And then I go out on social media, that way all the distractions are out now. All of them, completely. So after waiting, 5 hours have gone by, all I've been doing is procrastinating. Finally decided at 10:15, now it's time to start doing my work. Now, fast forward a couple of few hours, my stress level's at its max, my eyes are droopy, my brain stopped working, and I just crashed on the bed. I couldn't even finish my work, but I just fell asleep. And then the next morning, I took the test. I answered as many questions as I could, and within the next week, we got the test back. The teacher just placed the test on my desk, face down, and walked away. No eye contact. Me, being the nervous wreck that I am, carefully flipped the corner of the page to reveal the grade. I was shocked. I did surprisingly well. What a miracle. It's what I wished would have happened, but no, I did terrible. And from that day on, I decided it is time for a change. So now you all must be wondering, why do I call myself a good procrastinator? If there are countless negative effects, stress, anxiety, poor performance, then why not just stop doing it? This haunting question is what motivated me to start changing my habits. Eager to manage my time better, I started restricting myself from using my phone, set up alarms, started waking up earlier in order to have productive mornings. But somehow, these methods just didn't seem to work for me. In fact, it built up even more stress as it became harder to stay committed. Now what do? I was on the verge of giving up when I came across this TED Talk. It was about learning, and the man said, if I gave you a heap of wood and a dull saw, what would you do? Would you put your blood, sweat, and tears into cutting the wood? Or would you sharpen your saw first? I gave the obvious answer, sharpening your saw. That way you'd have higher productivity, it would take less effort, and you'd be more efficient. But then it hit me. Sharpening your saw is like learning how to learn. If I can't stop procrastinating, at least I can improve the bad habit. So I started researching. What is procrastination? Why do we do it? How do we stop it? Turns out procrastination isn't laziness or bad time management. It is in fact, as the New York Times states, a way of coping with challenging emotions such as frustration, anxiety, and boredom. According to Dr. Tim Pitchell, a professor of psychology and a member of the procrastination research group at Carleton University, procrastination is an emotion regulating problem. We avoid tasks in order to put down deeper feelings such as low self-esteem and self-doubt. And I guess for me, it was the fear of failure. Because I was so short of time, I thought that even if I did review for the test, I wouldn't do as well. And so I started putting off my tasks to delay that possible feeling of disappointment. As we saw, this clearly made my situation worse. So I made another Google search. How to stop procrastinating. A ton of methods came about. And after experimenting with a couple, I found out that the most effective techniques were in fact the smallest and easiest methods. Nothing to do with physically changing your sleep schedule or setting up alarms, but simple mind tricks to manipulate our brain into starting to work. I would like to share with you my top 4. Number 1, consequences. Number 2, level of priority. Number 3, level of perfection. And number 4, rewards. Let's break these down. First, start by thinking about the consequences. What will happen if you procrastinate? Not only will it have a heavy toll on productivity, but it also has side effects, health effects. A recent study conducted in 2015 by Physiological Science linked chronic or constantly reoccurring procrastination with a range of stress-related health problems. Such include headaches, flus, insomnia, colds, digestive issues. It's not too much to say that we've at least experienced one of these feelings, and it is awful and frustrating, but yet we keep letting it come back to us. We keep letting it haunt us. We keep letting it push us down. Even though we know we can avoid it, we still let it overtake our body. And why? That right there, questioning, creating the fear of such outcomes is what we can use as our ultimate motivator to start working. That right there, that questioning, creating the fear of such outcomes is what we can use as our ultimate motivator to start doing our work. It is psychologically proven that humans have a loss aversion bias. We do things to avoid loss. So next time when you're deciding whether you should procrastinate or actually start doing your work, really think about what you are doing right now, or what you're losing, and what you should be doing, what you should be gaining. That would be your motivator to start doing your work. My second tip. Think about how important the task really is. Do the most important task first, not the most time-consuming, but the one that matters the most. Research shows that the human brain can only focus for 45 minutes, so get the most important work out of the way. Tip number 3. How perfect does the task really need to be? We often spend time on making pretty posters and interactive displays, but when it comes to you having 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or when you're short of time to do your work, use that rational decision maker in your head. Finish the content, and then start working on the design. That'll ease your task. Tip number 4, most important thing to remember. Reward yourself. It is the top learning strategy any human could have. It's actually called hyperbolic discounting. Humans prefer smaller, short-term rewards over larger, long-term ones. So use this to your advantage, and when you finish a task, treat yourself. Reward yourself on the accomplishment that you've made. This could be taking a shower, making a snack, talking with some friends, going for a walk. Just do something to relieve yourself from that stress, and really let yourself feel satisfied with what you've accomplished. This cycle of work, reward, work, reward, work, reward is what you can use in order to keep on going with your next tasks as well. Now, after using these 4 tips, I can say that I transitioned myself from being a chronic procrastinator to a good procrastinator. I am better aware of my actions, and I know now how to stop myself or reduce myself from, feeding into those temptations. I can successfully say that my chart does look something like this. Regardless of whether you use these methods, this last piece of advice is what really motivated me to stay committed to these tips. It may sound weird, but it's actually Richard Thaler's theory of behavioral economics. He stated that humans make decisions based on self-interests, but those decisions may not actually be the best ones for us. They're impulsive. Hearing that was an awakening for me, because it made me realize that it's okay to procrastinate. Accepting the reality that no one can make 100% rational decisions all the time helped me to relieve that extra stress I was feeling when I started watching Netflix or taking a shower, doing something other than actually doing my work. I realized that there's no need to feel guilty because doing that is part of being a procrastinator. But what I can do is reduce the amount of irrational decisions I make, control the ripples of procrastination, really allow myself to feel satisfied after I complete a task and try to move on to the next one. So before I leave today, a recap of my 4 tips. First, think about the consequences. Second, how important really is the task? 3, how perfect does the task need to be? And number 4, reward yourself. Using these tips, I hope that you, just like me, can transition yourself from being a chronic to a good procrastinator. Thank you.